Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr here today for Mama Elephant with some Copic colored New Year's lanterns to share with you, featuring new products from the November 2019 Mama Elephant release. This card features the new Lanterns Creative Cuts dies as well as the Lunar Sayings stamp set. This is a super quick and easy card with all white die cuts colored with Copic markers. I did use a little gold cardstock for the embellishments on the lanterns, but everything else was colored with Copic markers, and then we've got an inked background. We're actually going to start with the inked background by taking a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel of smooth white cardstock and inking it with Hero Hues Pool Party Reactive ink. This is my favorite background color, especially for these kind of New Year's themed cards or any card that features like that cherry blossom kind of look. I will be sharing another video with that later on this week, so please be sure to look for that later on. Once I have my background panel completely inked, and I did an ombre effect where it kind of goes from dark to light, I have my really beautiful frame here, and we are going to take this and lay it all out, make sure everything is going to fit the way I think it's going to fit. We're going to cut apart our lanterns dies, and then we are going to just pop out any of these little pieces in the floral branch up above, then take Copic markers and color in the branches and the florals and the leaves with our Copic markers really quickly. I'm going to leave the frame white, so I'm just going to kind of keep that color only on this floral piece. I did start with the branch to give me a guideline of where to go with the flowers and the leaves. My branch colors are E55 and E57. Once I have my I lay down E55, put in a little E57, and then blended back out with E55, I am going to take some shades of pink to add color in. And this is kind of a light red color, peachy pink, peachy red color with R21 and R22. So the base of the flower is R21, colored really, really quick. And then just kind of in a star shape flicking out from the center, I'm taking R22 and adding in that depth of color and then not blending that back out. For my leaves, it's yellow-green 21 and yellow-green 17. For those, I did lay down the light color, blended in, or added in rather a little bit of the dark color and then blended that out. But for the flowers, I'm not doing any blending, and it's super, super fast coloring. I'm not worrying about being super precise, just more of getting the color and the feeling of this cherry blossom that's along the top of this card design so that we have somewhere to hang our beautiful lanterns. Mama Elephant does a fantastic job with frame dies. If you're looking for awesome frames, they have such a great collection and so many different ones. We are going to take the lanterns now that have been die cut from smooth white cardstock and color those in with Copic markers. And I'm doing traditional lanterns here in shades of red, are 35, 37, and 39. For the hanging part at the top of each, as well as the part that's going to get layered down below, I used Cool Gray 8. And that's just to give a nice base color if the gold die cut doesn't completely cover everything. I just felt a little bit more comfortable with that than keeping it white. I didn't want it to be white at all. So we're going to do a little Cool Gray, and then we're going to take the little gold die cut pieces, which are all a separate die cut, and layer those on. So I'm going to take a little liquid glue, draw in lines of glue where those go, take a crystal katana and pick up these little pieces because they are pretty small, and then layer those in place. And I got a little too much glue there, so I just picked it up, kind of some of that excess. And then look how pretty these lanterns are. Aren't those so much fun? I think these are just phenomenal and such a gorgeous way to do an awesome New Year's design card. Really pretty, a great size, and lots of ways to use these. I'm going to color all 3 lanterns with these markers. So all 3 feature our 35, 37, and 39, and then cool gray somewhere on them. And then we will layer on the gold die cut pieces. This is polished gold cardstock from Tonic Studios. I love the gold mirror effect of the cardstock and how it looks layered over the red. It's just phenomenal. Really looks great. All these little pieces, even this little kind of hexagon or whatever shape here that goes along the bottom edge, just super pretty, and all the little details are really, really fun. Let's color in this last one really quick, and then we can move on to the finishing details for our card. This card came together really quickly. One of the quicker cards that I have created in a while, even though it features a lot of custom coloring. So even when you are coloring something in, you can create a card quickly and easily. I think this would be a great design to maybe do assembly line style. If you have a few you want to send out for the new year, I could see doing these and just making several at one time. Once we have this, we are going to take a sentiment from the Lunar Sayings stamp set, and I like to use a MISTI for this, so I make sure and get it lined up exactly where I want it to go. It's going to go along the bottom edge, hanging down below those lanterns, and I of course picked a sentiment from Lunar Sayings that had the word lanterns in it, talking about lights and lanterns. I'm going to read the sentiment because I think it's beautiful. It's kind of long, and in case it's hard to read in the video. Just as you usher in lights, lanterns, and other forms of illuminations to welcome the new year, may the new year usher in for you new hopes, dreams, and aspirations. I think that's so beautiful. Definitely a message of hope and encouragement for the new year, and I am going to be sending this particular card design out to several people, especially some friends and family who maybe have had a difficult 2019, in hopes that they have a very happy, healthy, and wonderful 2020. So I think it's beautiful. I'm a big fan of this release. I think it's super fun. I know we're right in the midst of holiday card making and crafting and all of that, but just looking ahead to the new year and all of those kind of encouraging things, I think this is a great stamp set, sentiment set to have on hand, and dies. This card was created with 1 stamp set and 1 die collection, and this is just one of the things you can do with that. I will be sharing more videos soon on other ideas to use these with some of the other new products from the November release. I stamped this with the Hero Arts Embossing and Watermark ink. I'm embossing with Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold Embossing Powder. Definitely needed some gold embossing powder to kind of coordinate with the gold accents on the lanterns, I felt. And then I'm going to flip my frame over and put some 1/8 inch Lawn Fawn double-sided tape around all 4 edges. And I'm not going to worry about under the flowers. In fact, I kind of like the movement of the cherry blossom branch because we're going to tuck our lanterns underneath. So I'm not worrying at all about adhesive underneath the flowers right now. If you don't want those kind of popped up, you can always add a little dab of glue back behind them after you put your card together. If you need a little tip on how to line it up, maybe it's not lining up perfectly. I noticed my background, I think I didn't trim it quite to size, so I needed to trim down one side just a little bit. A little tip is to take your pieces that you're trying to line up, in this case a background and a frame that are A2 sized, place them in your MISTI down in one of the corners, and then just line those up and put them together. And it's going to perfectly line them up and works great every time. I know, I believe a YouTube viewer shared that tip with me a while back, and it has been an absolute fantastic tip and works great. I'm using liquid adhesive now to attach my lanterns. So I've got a little along that little strip at the top and then along the back side, the whole back side of my lantern. I want it to lay nice and flat. And we're going to have a couple kind of slightly overlap over on the right side of the card. I have the longest lantern in the center, and then the other two will be on either side. And we'll just put that last one over on the left. Now the card is beautiful as is. I decided to add a little scattering of Nuvo crystal drops in the bright gold color. The bright gold works really nice with the gold accents on the lanterns, the gold embossing on the greeting, and it's going to just round it out really nicely. I think it's kind of a fun little touch. So we're going to put the panel on a white top fold card base, and then we'll take those Nuvo crystal drops in bright gold and scatter those about the card. And just kind of work nice and slow, little drops here and there. And it really just rounds out the design beautifully and is an easy way to add an accent. You could also use a scattering of confetti, sequins, small gemstones, other things like that for a similar effect. Once this is all done, our New Year's celebration card is all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this New Year's themed card featuring Copic colored die cuts using new stamps and dies from the Mama Elephant November 2019 release. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new card making or paper crafting video. Thank you guys as always for joining me, and we'll catch you next time.